Top 5 makeup trends for the winter for 2024. What all are we going to be seeing in makeup that are the top trends according to Pinterest, a lot of other beauty gurus, including Birdie and other beauty magazines? We're going to try out some of these looks. I've identified 5 that I think are kind of the top ones that we're going to be seeing this winter. You've probably already started seeing a lot of them. I think one is going to be not a surprise to you guys. But we're going to talk about it. So let's try out. We're going to do some of these looks, and I'm going to share products too that I think are going to help you create these trends the best. So if that interests you, let's get started. Hey guys, I am Cher. Welcome to the channel. We do a lot of different fun topics here, but today we're going to be sharing makeup trends. And so I think there's about 5 we've been kind of seeing, and maybe you just haven't been able to identify it or, I don't know, articulate what they're called, each of these trends. So let's go through them all. The first one that we are seeing is indeed, there's different names for it, but I think it's kind of the frosty eyes. So icy, frosty. I think that our very Huda Beauty with her Icy Nude palette has just pretty much, she has the epitome of the winter trends out there with debuting her latest and last, I do not know why this is her last palette, but her last big eyeshadow palette. And this is full of all those fun frosty colors as well as like kind of metallics and whatnot. So I feel like she is so good at being right on top of the trends of like what is happening and creating products kind of ahead of time that are like right on the trend. And this is definitely the one. I think this is like the palette of the year, to be honest. Definitely the palette of the season. Everybody's dying to get their hands on this one. So the icy frosty colors like this one. And of course, I am going to put in here some clips of how to create these frosty colors. There's different ideas with it. Of course, these are kind of a sheer like blue, anything that's giving you that, you know, the feel of like the snow and the frost out there this time of year. You've got any colors really that are frosty. So you can have lavenders and purples, you could have pinks, you can have more white, you can have even a little touch of tan, but it's going to be those more frosty and also kind of sheer, you know, like translucent kind of in a way, sheared out looks. But if it's not even enough for you, you can even go a step further and get more of a liquid topper. So something that has even more frosty silver tints to them. So some of the palettes that I think are going to be perfect for it. Of course, this is your one, like the best one probably to create this look. But this one's not alone. I think there are other palettes out there that kind of have the same idea. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Beautyverse, such a gorgeous palette here. Again, it reminds me of those frost colors. We have another one. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Nouveau palette. I love some of those similar ideas in there too. Some of the sparkles, you could create that same idea. Even Natasha Denona Xenon palette, you're going to get mostly, you know, your very cool tone blues, but this creates definitely the same idea, just a little more limited on your color ranges. So many indie brand palettes as well. The Adept Minka palette, this one is a lot of those same ideas. Frosty, wonderful for winter sparkly looks you can create. The Odin's Eye, Jewels and Gem. Again, similar idea. In Odin's Eye, the Soul Mane palette as well. So lots of options if you want different color stories. You don't always have to stick to completely cool tone, but it is going to be a mostly cool toned trend here. Some favorite eyeshadow toppers that would create this look. I have a lot that I use in bridal makeup that would create this so beautifully. ABH makes, or used to make at least, some of the best toppers. They're loose pigments. This one is my favorite. It's the Crystal, and I create this This is my number one I use in bridal makeup all the time. Unfortunately, you can't really purchase these anymore unless you check like eBay. So I've been looking for one to replace it with. I've looked at the MAC toppers, and I'm checking out Armani Beauty actually has some amazing toppers that kind of match that idea. But you could also get other ones that are somewhat similar. e.l.f. makes some fun liquid eyeshadow. This is in the shade Bling, I think it is. It makes a gorgeous like silver topper. Jeffree Star definitely knows how to make liquid eyeshadows too. And his what are these? Eye Frost. These are another kind of his toppers too. I can't remember the name of them, but this is in the shade Blunt of Diamonds. Makes a gorgeous like silver veil, as well as his regular eyeshadow toppers. Now this one is the gold, but he has a silver version also. So lots of options in. Just pick up some liquid toppers like this, and they're going to give you even more pigment and even more bang to really stand out on your eyes, depending on what look you want. You can go as subtle or as crazy as you want on these eyes. You can leave it kind of subtle with this just really pretty pop of like frosty blue, not a lot of extra eyeliner or boldness. Just leave it very pretty. You see how the cheeks here are tinted just so. It just looks perfect, especially on this blonde. Gorgeous, just cold, frosty makeup look. Or you can take it a step further. You can go very Game of Thrones here. I always think of the Game of Thrones, the Nordic creatures, you know, in the north when they have their little fight with like the ice folks. Like you're like ice creatures. And you can pull a lot of this eyeshadow and frostiness, take a white eyeliner or a nude liner and just pop it into your waterline, pop it under the eyes, and create as much frost, bringing it down all around the eyes as possible, just truly popping on the eyelids. This frosty eyes or overall frosty look, it's kind of coinciding with that cold girl makeup trend that we saw, especially last year. Now it's just kind of renamed, but it's still kind of part of that same trend, I think. It's just the very frosted out and cold type trend, because you're pairing your frosty face here a little bit with still that frostbitten cheeks and lips. So on the lips and cheeks, you could continue the frost into the cheeks even if you want. Lots of highlight. So it's all about that highlight, all about the shimmer and glow and frostbitten cheeks. So we add in definitely some very pink cheeks. You really probably want a lot of the liquid blushes for this. Something very cool toned a lot of times, but you can even pull it off with a warm tone. I want to put in a few pictures in here for you. These are from Pinterest of kind of that cold girl look. Sometimes, you know, it's paired with the frosty eyes too, and it just looks amazing. And so if you don't like these more pastel colors, you could go a little bit warmer pink tone, but you still want to keep it kind of pink, give it that very frostbitten look. And then of course, you're going to add in a lot of highlight. Pop those cheeks with the highlight, pretty much pop them everywhere, all of the normal places you'd put your highlight. But another piece of this, a big trend as part of our frostbitten look these days, is glossy skin. Glossy skin is huge right now. Again, as I was saying with Huda Beauty and how she's so good at identifying the trends, she even has a glossy skin little compact out there. It looks like mold growing in it. It's not really mold. It's just when it meshes together, it creates this gorgeous, shimmering, glowy, glossy finish on the skin of highlight. I actually don't have it with me, but I do have it ordered and on the way, just not in time for my video. So I want to tell you about this product. Definitely check it out. It's going to be the ultimate product to give you that glossy skin look that's very in right now. But if you don't have that product, what you can do is create your look with obviously a very like luminous finish in your skin products, good glowing, beautiful, dewy foundations or skin tints, and then you follow up with your liquid highlight. So any kind of good liquid highlight or even a glowing primer. The Dior Forever Glow Star Filter, to name a couple of them. What I'm using in the video is the Physicians Formula liquid highlight as an affordable option there, but any kind of good liquid highlight. I always love the Dior Forever Glow highlight too. Any of these that are going to just give kind of, you want it to be liquid because you want it to really look like it's just glowing from the skin, and then it's just glossy skin rather than a streak of highlight like we've seen in the past with more powder highlights. So definitely liquid highlight for this. Now, more ideas to give you this glassy look or just all over skin glow. MAC Strobe Cream. We have Versed Mood Lighting Glow Drops. I tend to use Iconic London Liquid Highlight for all over the body, so you could glisten even down the neck, along the chest line, all over the face. These kind of products are perfect for creating that glossy skin and a little bit frosty edge to the skin as well. Even Cover FX has some good liquid highlights also. All right, so that was a very obvious trend. I think everybody knew and was automatically going to think of Frosty eyes and the Icy Nudes palette and just, you know, that cold girl look when they think of the winter trends out there. But here's another one that we've been talking about in the fall, and you've been probably seeing and hearing about it, but it's also going to be big going into the winter. And that is the idea of blonzers. So blonzers are definitely have been the fall trend, and this is a mix between your blush and your bronze. It's kind of a new concept in, you know, that's out there. So huge this fall because the bronzed look was big, but it's going to continue into winter as a sun-kissed winter glow, basically. So the idea and concept with this is to actually look for your blushes that are more shades closer to a bronze shade, you know, to your bronzers. And you're going to kind of use it as both. It's combined, so you don't have to buy both of them. I mean, a lot of us have already been doing this trend in general. If we tend to just kind of get a bronzer and we use it sort of as just our blush. But the idea of this is it's a combined thing. A lot of it tends to be in like a liquid form, very dewy still, serum based. Again, as I keep saying, Huda Beauty, she's always on it. She's come out with her new blonzers, all right? And she has a whole reel out there talking about what this is exactly and how it's trending and where you actually place this on the face. So you're not going to use bronze and like contour and do your normal contour on your face. You are instead going to kind of pop it on as your like blush and bronze, but you're going to put it in a different placement. I will show you here a demonstration of exactly where we're going to be placing it. So it's kind of like a little above where you do a bronze line, but carrying it down so that it's still like blush. And she has her blonzers out. A lot of brands are starting to come out with these. Another one that I would highly recommend are the IT Cosmetics. This is called Sun Blush. They are amazing. It's what I'm using in the reel. And they are the shade Sun Blossom here, as well as Sunlit. It's just in the right color to kind of take on that blend of your blush and bronzer. And it's this idea of what it would be like if you just kind of blended your blush and your bronzer together. So that's the concept of blonzing. Another one that's going to be big in the winter time. Now, it's probably not going to be combined with these frosty looks. This is kind of a separate trend in itself. All right, let's talk about lips for a moment. So, of course, always at the holidays, we have the big, bold lips, right? We're going to have always, those are the classics. I don't think we're ever going to get away from those at the holidays, either like your classic red lippy or berry tones, you know, for winter. That's always in style. That will continue to be in style, but there's kind of a new take on how you actually do your lips this winter. Whatever color you're going to use. So it's not so much the color choice, it's the technique. And it's basically what's called blurred lips. This is where it's kind of inverse of how we tend to do our lips in general. So normally we would take our lip liner, put that on the outside. That's kind of your darkest color usually, right? Then you're going to go in with a little bit lighter color on the insides of your mouth, maybe with your lipstick, your lip gloss, your oil, whatever medium you're using. Well, this time it's going to be kind of flipped. You're going to start with your darker color or a little bit darker color on the insides in the lips and your lighter color towards the outsides of the lips. And not too much of a difference though in how much that color is going to go. Just a slight subtle hint. So it gives it the effect of almost like those ombre lips, but it's a little more blurred out, and it's going to really kind of make the lips even look plumper, believe it or not, kind of plumped and swollen for winter. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain that exactly. But another technique that you can do with this and take it even further is take a little lip brush, some kind of little brush, and fan it out and blend it even a little bit towards the outside edges. And if you want to even carry it further, take a blush shade in almost the same shade and extend it out with a brush ever so slightly. Now, you don't want to dry your lips out too much with powder, but just enough to kind of give that extra edge without you being able to tell that it was blush. So this is becoming a bigger trend as we go into winter. You'll notice this. It's this kind of muted, like, almost gives the effect of chapped lips. I think that's where they're going with this, is the chapped lips look, which we always get in the winter time, right? So kind of appropriate. All right, the fourth trend that we're seeing for this winter is definitely, you're not going to be surprised about this based on the palettes that have come out this season just in time for winter, the ethereal eye look, or what they're kind of calling moody makeup too. So I think both of these are kind of, you can interchange the terminology. Moody makeup is going to give you those very twilight shimmering metallics almost on the eyes, some sparkles, and then like a very dark, almost vampy lip. So maybe a little bit more in vampy colors, more metallic colors. So just some of that moody and ethereal idea for winter, and really great for the holidays. So of course, that perfect example of that is the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. So I think this has shown us that this is our trend, guys. So when I talk about ethereal, those shimmers that go on the eyes, his formula here is the perfect example of this. It looks like you're out shimmering in the moonlight, right? So same idea as our frostbitten eyes, kind of icy colors and whatnot. They're still giving some of those shimmering and translucent properties similar to this, but the twist on this is it's more of your metallic colors, a little moodier colors. So not as much frosty. You can have a slight frost, I suppose, but you're going to end up more with a deeper, darker, maybe more rust tones even. You could even have more rust tones, but just a little more moonlight, ethereal, vampy. That's the best way I know how to describe it. So other palettes that could do this, his other one, the Makeup by Mario Original Ethereal Eyes. I also think of the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I think this is definitely your palette to create those kind of looks, very moody looks. Even you could do a touch from her I Need a Warm. That's going to take you warmer tones, but some of them could still work, because even if you stuck with some of those up there, not everybody is going to look great in cool tones. So you want a few warm toned options of this, but it's going to need to stay a little metallic-y in finish. And so that's more of your idea. Then for your other colors on the face, you're going to start getting a little deeper. You're going to go a little more vampy. You're going to go with deep, darker toned lips, perhaps even I've got the Dior. Now this one is a sparkling one with like a little glitter added in. Your best bet's probably going to be to go a little more matte, but just for an idea of the color, a darker, like almost deeper than cranberry, maybe like a wine color. You can almost go with a dark brown. You can go with dark red, even black, but you're wanting to go with those deeper, vampier colors. The perfect vampy lip that I love, that has a deep kind of plum, winter berry, but just really darker vibe to it, I love to do this in bridal winter weddings, is the combination of the MAC Plum lip liner with MAC Spice It Up. This just makes that perfect vampy color. So if you're looking for vamp lips ideas, this is the one. And then our next and last trend. Now, this one I debated kind of lumping in with the Frosty looks and the Cold Girl makeup because this sort of coincided with it, but I think it's a separate trend in and of itself. This is the Sugarplum Fairy look. And now this was actually popular last year. So this isn't specifically 2024. However, we're seeing a lot of this come back and a lot of folks recreating the sugar plums, the mauves, the really pink frosty colors. So the same idea as your frostbitten, icy, but it's all going to be pinks. Now, Hailey Bieber is the one who kind of created this trend, honestly. She came out with this picture here of herself with that fairy frost idea. And so, like I said, same idea, but instead of blues like this and all the extra colors, it's going to have to stick to soft pinks, so your soft shimmering pinks. I think you can still use a lot of the same eyeshadow palettes I pointed out on the frosted look, but you're going to want to look for only the pinks to create it. I think another great palette that I own that would be perfect for this is the Too Faced Gingerbread palette from a winter collection a while ago. Lots of pink, frosty shades in there. Think of kind of those pink gingerbread colors that you could make, and that's what you want to create on the eyes, but fairly simple, still very simple, and very light pinks, very, very blushed cheeks, but you want to go very light on this, a lot lighter, pop of just a touch of pretty feminine pink. Think of a princess. This one is definitely going to stay somewhat muted, but you want to go all out when it comes to blush. And then the same idea of that glossy skin is applying to this one too. I should have probably made glossy skin a trend of its own, but it's just kind of one of the features of the Sugarplum Fairy look. And so with this one, you would do your pop of blush, but you would definitely add in a lot of highlight and glossy skin, especially around blending into your blush area. You can put in a little pop of highlight in the corner eyes, really, really highlight that Sugarplum, highlight in the inner corner eyes and along the outside corners over here and down into the blush area. That's sort of one of the biggest features of this Sugarplum look. And of course, something pink on the lips as well. So again, it's kind of a repeat, but it's all pink and it really does actually have a name for it. Sugarplum Fairy, basically. So those are 5 top trends for winter 2024. We've already started seeing a bunch of them, but they are here for a little while. Which one is your favorite? Which ones have you tried? And did you learn something new? And are you going to try any of these out? Let me know. I am loving all of them. I am the most thrilled of all about this Icy Nude palette. This has been my favorite for the season and will continue to be all winter. So I'm loving the winter is here, even though I don't get much of it in Florida, but I can at least enjoy it through my makeup. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for today. Make sure you stick around if you love content like this. I love touching on different makeup looks, tips, tutorials, trends. We do a lot of beauty boxes on my channel, but I get to try a lot of different makeup products that way. So I bring you guys a lot of reviews. I know a lot of different makeup products, and that's what we do here on the channel. So I would love to see more of you. Stick around. Happy winter, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.